Think about something different. Why you make just relax a bit? Ain't no accidents. It's just all for the love.
Heaven high, everybody. Welcome. Heaven high, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Heaven High Podcast. Before you get all caught up, I need you to click like. You need to subscribe. And you can even alert yourself because I know you want to know what I got going on every week, don't you? Because it's going to be something fun, right? Today, I'm super excited because my longtime sister is on, and she is a whole bunch of things. I mean, really, she's a whole bunch of things, and she has done a whole bunch of things. But today, did y'all see on Instagram where I said I had a dream about my man? Did y'all see that? I had my dream. And since I had my dream about my man, since I done passed menopause, I need to know all about that intimacy stuff, right? So Nevaina is an intimacy coordinator. Not only that, she also has assisted big old fine handsome men with their relationships. And so today she is here with us to talk to you. So don't just be sitting there, ask your questions. Nevaina, girl, I'm getting hot already. Might have to take my shirt off.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
So pretty self, girl.
I'm just a mirror.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Okay, the first thing I need to do, thing we need to talk about, because I went over my career. Y'all know I'm an actress. Not I was. Isn't that something? I'm accepting it. I am an actress. And I went over my career and I thought about my intimate scenes. There were not a lot of intimacy. Like there was RingMaster, which I talked about, which wasn't really intimate, but it was because, girl, let me tell you, in the script, it said that we had a sex scene, but Wendy's character heard us. She didn't see us. So I thought that they would hear me, right? We get to work that day and they got a whole room prepared for us.
Yeah.
And a bed. And it's me with fine butt Michael Jai. And I had on a G-string and a
pasties.
Yeah, it might have been tape. And he had tape. It was tape on him. And all that, everything else was just out. And we had to do this scene. Now, luckily, you remember my boyfriend at the time. He and Michael Jai were really tight. So, you know, I was comfortable because, you know, Frankie. Hey, Frankie, if you watching, look at me talking about you. You know, I don't talk about you out loud, but I'm talking about you right now, man. I had to send this to you. This was years ago, y'all. So right. I was comfortable, but I was really riding that man. There was no intimacy coordinator. And then I think about when I did Starsky and Hutch, when I was in bed with, what's the white guy with the blonde hair, the nose? They always talk about his nose. Starsky and Hutch, whatever it was, the movie. I was in the bed curled up with him. I'm so sad that I can't think of your name. That's bad. That is bad hosting. Let me see. Wait a minute. Starsky and Hutch movie. He was Owen Wilson.
Oh, okay.
He was wonderful. And all I remember, though, I was in the bed curled up with him, and I was like, wow, I've never been in bed with a white man before. That's really what, because I hadn't. He said, are you prejudiced? Are you racist? And I was like, no. Love black men. Hey. So, and then I thought about Thin Line. I slapped Martin. I got to hook up. I'm just hugging. So I was like, I've never really had, because what is intimacy?
Right. Okay. So first of all,
tell me,
to come to set,
Yes.
and not know that it's going to be actually simulated sex.
Yes.
The intimacy coordinator position has been put in place so that actors can maintain their agency over things like that. Because in the script, it may just say, they go into the bedroom and they make love. There's a lot
Yes.
done for that. It can be the afterglow. It can be just a kiss and he just pulls your clothes off. And so all of that is just insinuated versus simulated, right?
Yes.
Then there's a lot of conversation that happens on many levels with your manager and the
Nobody did
agent and
those conversations.
attorneys and all of that to get your intimacy writer together. So that they know.
And for people who don't understand, an intimacy writer is writing out what it is that I will do and what it is that I won't do, correct?
Right. And it gets very specific. It's like I'll show my side breast, but not my nipple. You can touch the top of my breast, but not cup my breast. I mean, at times it is extremely specific. And that makes it a lot easier because then the conversation before the scene between myself and the actor, myself and the director and all of us, we all have some idea of what the boundaries are and what the playing field looks like. Then we can choreograph it accordingly. Okay, but pre-2017, it was
me walking in the room like,
oh, that's what we're doing?
Yes.
Right. And then you have this pressure of, if I don't do it, then I will
get somebody else.
Right. Yes. And so
now, are you there so that, like, if my side boob shows, are you beside the director where you can say, oh, wait a minute?
Yes. So I will say, I'll whisper to the director, I need to cut, and I haven't had to really do that because most of the time the camera angles, the business in the scene, all of the org to cover whatever needs to be covered. And many times the actors are responsible for that. So albeit keep an arm here or put the cover here or hold it this way, so forth and so on. So you have all of that in place. Huh?
You're real close in there when you're because I was thinking maybe you were the person who would you would come to my dressing room and say, Tangi, I know this is what we're doing. You would have that conversation.
I do. I do that, but I'm also right there on set. Like I've had a full nude love scene, and with that it's just privacy garments. So basically it's like moleskin tape on all of the nipples and the private parts. And then the male has on a male sock basically, and then it's just string. Right, it's just the teeny weeny string bikinis, right? And I've had to place the female's leg over the male's bum so that the strings are covered and they look fully nude.
Wow.
And so that was one I had to breathe because I won't say no names, but honey, I was like, okay, we in the professional lane today. So in the moment, you feel much like a doctor, and it's just a leg and a this and put this there and hold that there. But then afterwards, I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just touched the bum of so and so.
Well, let me tell you what. Even with my man and his wife, I was in love with Michael Jai for a whole week after that scene.
and the other part
wait a minute, look.
Oh Lord. And look at your back, Tangi girl.
Girl, and I started to put the moving version, but that's just because I do. But I say I can't twerk, but she wasn't dancing. She wanted his love and she was working hard. That's that young girl stuff. So ooh, have you had any mishaps?
Um, I would say the closest mishap was my very first intimacy coordinating position. Because now, mind you, beforehand, I had been an intimacy coach, which the difference is, the intimacy coach choreographs the love scenes, makes sure they look passionate and realistic,
Okay.
create as much chemistry between the two actors, characters. So it's a
Wait a minute,
whole.
pause for a second, because one of my people, Impu, said, thank you for clarifying. So the intimacy coach, you don't necessarily go talk to them before they come on set. But
Right.
you're on.
Well, the two things are starting to come together now, right?
Well, no, I want to know the difference between the intimacy
Right. So the intimacy coach, you would still be talking with the actors because you're choreographing the actual scene.
Okay.
But you're more focused on creating the chemistry, the fire, the movement, the making it look realistic and good and all of that.
Okay.
Whereas the intimacy coordinator is much more of an actor's advocacy position. It's a compliance position. It's about consent, clarity, everybody being on one page about the business is going to happen. I'm comfortable with that business and I'm clear about what this scene is going to include. And sometimes it's very specific. Like he puts her on the kitchen counter. He unbuttons the top two buttons. She grabs the outside of his thigh and goes down to his knees. I mean, it's really like choreography. And if I've done my job well, then the actors feel more like they are dancing than necessarily making love or simulating sex. Because you got to hit your mark, you've got to move your hair, you got to turn your body just this so it's extremely measured. Whereas when you see it on camera, it looks so passionate and so spontaneous. But on set, it's anything but that, because you've got 5 to 10 people, essential crew usually only, and it's a performance,
You having an intimacy coordinator, to me, seems like that would prevent us from falling in love, because then it's work. Like I'm acting, even though we know we're acting. But when you are doing what your body tells you to do, then you're actually in that moment, feeling, experiencing, and all of that.
And see, after I have separate conversations with the actors, I see what is your comfort level with discovery or exploration, or do you all want time to get together to choreograph what you may want this to look like? So then we can come to the director with, this is what we've created. How does this work for your vision? And I also may have talked to the director already, because I have some directors, they know what they want to see. Their favorite scene was some movie back in the 80s and they want to recreate it, So I'm like, okay, got it. And then I have others that are like, well, let me see, make your magic, and I'll tell you if I like it or what I want to shift or change. So there is still space for exploration. But having these guidelines and parameters in the Me Too environment just really keeps things it just creates a safer environment. And then you're more free to focus on the work, and you're not worried about touching someone in the wrong place or something being misconstrued or your performance being kind of held hostage because you don't want to do X, Y, and Z. It takes a lot of those uncomfortable conversations out of the atmosphere of the work. So then everybody can just do what they do best and focus on making the scene
that.
beautiful, you know?
If I hadn't been comfortable with Michael Jai and even Owen, I would have been like, you know, I
Right. But
even
there would have been no advocate to be like a liaison between. So now
yeah.
you're in a whole conversation that's uncomfortable. And however that conversation goes, whether they say, okay, well, you don't have to do it, or they say, okay, we'll get someone else who's willing to do it, you know, then what is your recourse after that? Or if they say, you know, if you don't do it, then you're going to have to walk. And so you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll do it. And now you've got to come into that space
I'm uncomfortable. I
feeling
like
all
it
of
because
that.
now I know, because I don't know if intimacy coordinators are in all roles, but I know now that I've shaved off my hair, maybe I'll get one of those roles. And if I'm uncomfortable, I can actually reach out to my agent and ask for an intimacy coordinator. Of course, I'll
Right.
ask for you. I see. You know,
And, you know, most of the SAG projects now, they're moving into mandatory intimacy coordinators. And many actors, if there's not one, I've been requested probably on about 3 of the 12
yes,
scenes that I've done, because the actor really, they just wanted it. I'd worked with them before, and so they requested me.
yes.
And intimacy coordinator, the support goes beyond just love scenes. I've done several projects where the actor was being sexually harassed. So it was just some pushing up on and groping.
Oh.
And then there was one where there was a rape.
Sexually harassed in character. The
Yes,
character was
sexually harassed in the character in the script
being
experienced sexual
sexually
harassment.
okay.
And so I was present there to support the actors
He's
both, you know.
comfortable, but still that is coming
Yeah.
to life.
And
Yeah.
then there was a rape scene, there was an abduction scene. So
Oh, I
anytime,
didn't have one of those where I had a rape scene. I didn't like that guy. Mm, I don't even want to think about it. We'll
right.
talk
And
about that. But it would have been nice to have, because he was creepy,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But in the script, he was supposed to be creepy, so it worked.
So
We
you
won't talk about
use
that.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you just never know what can trigger someone, right? And so actors prior to this season, it's been thought, just block that out and do your job, right? But the human psyche, emotions, all of that, they really don't work that way. You know, muscle memory, you can have scent memory, someone can grab you a certain way and it's just triggering. So to have someone there to support you, because I also have my certification in first response mental first aid.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and also my experience as a drama therapy specialist helps me with, you know, let's breathe, let's focus, let's find your moment before, give me your feel good moment. You know, you can really just bring someone back to center or back to balance. And not that we're operating in some therapeutic space, because it's not that, but we're also not going to disregard the fact that actors bring all of themselves
To
into that
each and
space.
every role.
And
Correct.
so it has to be handled with a measure of care. And so the intimacy coordinator position is giving us the ability to do that and giving actors the advocacy that helps to keep them emotionally, physically, and mentally safe while doing very, very vulnerable and exposing work.
Have you ever worked with some actors and you had to tell one of them to calm down?
Um, when you say that, I haven't had that, but I had an instance, and it's very interesting when you said, okay, I've never done a love scene. This was like a we just getting it on kind of scene. So my very first set, I had 3 different couples that I had to work with. The context of each couple in the script really reflected in how the actors received me, what they wanted to do, how comfortable they were, so forth. So I had one couple that was supposed to be married, and they're just spicing up their relationship. I had another couple that was kind of having an affair, and they're supposed to be, on the download, kind of nobody's supposed to know about us.
Okay.
And then I had another couple who had met up at the club. We're going to smoke a little bit, drink a little bit, roll around on the sofa, right?
Okay.
So my roll around on the sofa couple, it's a whole business where the male has to disrobe the female. She has on a sports bra and boy shorts, but she is disrobed to expose like a push-up bra and a thong.
Okay.
Now, this particular project, they've had conversations with the agent and the manager, and they've shown them wardrobe. This is what's going to be shown. But holding up a thong and whatever on a hanger and putting it on a sister is two different visuals.
Yes.
So we start shooting the scene, and we get to where they're showing her backside with this thong, and all of a sudden phones and buzzing and everything starts going on, right? So it's network, like basically that is too much butt on the screen. We can't do that. So then they want the director to shoot two different versions, like one version with the boy shorts left on and the other version with the thong.
Okay.
And he's like, we'll be here to 2:00 a.m. We can't do that. And at this point, we already had about, let's say, an hour's worth of coverage, right?
Okay.
So the director, with genius, says we'll get two different shots. So we go up on the loft and we'll shoot down overhead.
Okay.
And then he adds a shot from behind the coffee table with this flower that is strategically placed right. Boom, right? But that still adds about an hour and a half, 2 hours of coverage and shots and all this. Yeah. And so my actress, she's like, look, I've been here 2 hours with nothing on. Can we move on from this shot?
Oh,
and so then the director goes to her and he explains to her, this is what the producers are saying. This is what's happening. And she's not pleased with it. And now, hindsight, I should have gone and been physically present for that conversation just to let her know that we're aware this is uncomfortable, but this is the remedy that we've come up with so that the scene doesn't get scrapped because it's just too much for the air where they're airing it,
Yeah.
And so what we did was between takes, I had the actor throw, it was either a pillow or maybe it was her boy shorts or something, so that at least while we were in cut,
she wasn't laying there with a booty out. Yeah.
Because the way everything was configured, we couldn't get in with the modesty robe because by the time you do all that, it's time to go to the next thing.
Yeah.
So those kinds of moments, just to let you know, I understand you're upset. I can't change it, but I can try and do this to make it more comfortable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That was probably my biggest, person was like, okay, I don't like this. What's happening?
And I can understand that laying there with you because I would have, I got you. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to work with maybe two men or two women? And
no, I haven't had a same-sex scene yet.
Okay.
That's me knocking on wood.
Okay.
So, because there are not many intimacy coordinators of color in the industry, at least when it started. I think it's getting more, things are opening up, all of those things. So there is a lovely young lady right now, her name escapes me, but she's the IC for P Valley, right?
Okay.
And so
once it gets the initials, it's in there forever. Go ahead, I see. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I don't envy her position at all. But even knowing for myself that it's simulated, it's not real. When I watch that show, man, I'm like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
I am really intrigued by trying to find or figure out where are all those parts like really going for real,
Yeah.
because even in heteronormative full nude scenes, you're touching. I mean, you're not
I was
inserting.
riding him.
Yeah, but you bodies are touching. It is
Bodies are
very, very close
kissing.
quarters,
Yeah.
And I had one instance, the actress, she said, you can kiss me anywhere, but I don't want to kiss in the mouth. That is too intimate for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we created all of these moments where they were like, just sharing breath and almost about to kiss. And it was so sensual and sexy. And she was like standing all over him on the sofa.
Yes.
I said, hey, who needs to kiss, man?
So honestly, I agree because I love watching these K-dramas. Yes, girl, I do. And one of the things that I think I love so much is they really court. Like it's 10 episodes before they even know that they like each other.
Right.
And then it's another 5 before he lets her know. They having all these mishaps, but it's all of this tension before they actually get together. And I like that. I like that a lot.
Yes. I think, as an intimacy coach, I really make an effort to introduce couples into other ways of discovering closeness, right? And it's really about engaging all of the senses. So it may even start with just washing each other's hands and putting lotion on one another's hands. One of my couples, the husband, boy, his elbows needed some love, honey. And so I had them, you go wash your hands, and then I want you to just lotion his hands like you would your toddler, and just with that attention and care. And he said, wow, I haven't felt this cared for in a long time. And just that simple thing can bring so much closeness and comfort, and you just feel held like fully.
Yes. Did y'all hear that? I hope it's some brothers on here listening. I hope it's not all sisters. You just feel held. I put on my Instagram story, wouldn't it be nice if ...
Yes.
I had a whole bunch of men tell answers, but the ones that captivated me were the ones that were focusing on stimulating my mind and having a good time and making me laugh and maybe, I don't know, rubbing my head, whatever. You know what I mean? But the ones that just went to the nitty gritty, I would just say, oh, thank you.
Right. I mean, there's a place for everything. Sometimes, you do want your hair pulled and your back stretched. But other times,
keep in mind, these are people that I haven't had any relations with.
Right.
The people on social media. You trying to get in. Don't come pulling my hair first. I done cut it off. Right?
So I ask, huh?
Oh, you go ahead. I'll write down my question.
I'll ask questions like, what love song reminds you of your relationship? What food? What color? What scent? And all of these things help to think about relating and your relationship in more abstract terms. And so it brings all of your senses in: sight, smell, touch, hearing, all of that, right?
Yes. What love song? Okay, let me ask you a personal question. Are you in a relationship?
You all in my business.
I am, girl. Yes, I am. Yes,
You
I
know,
am.
Tangie, you know me. I stay in relating.
Right. So what love song reminds you of your relationship?
You know, that is a good question because it has actually shifted. Um, what's that song by Jill Scott? Uh,
Look, which one?
right. You put me on the spot, but it's oh no, it's India I read. You know, he is the truth. And
Oh
he is so
yeah,
real. And
yeah.
I love the way he makes me feel. Yes. And if I am a reflection of him, then I must
Yes.
be fly. I wouldn't lie. Oh yeah. Cause I like guys that are really connected to their spiritual side.
Yes.
A man of God is a huge turn on for
Yes.
me, who can
Yes.
pray, who can read the
Yes.
word, who can see. And he got to have a little gangster in him too. He got to tell me, sit down, little mama, now you're doing too much. I like that.
Nevaina. Okay, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something funny. So, Nevaina is one of my best friends. We have been sisters for a long time. And back in the 1900s, there was this guy.
Oh, gosh.
He's he's spiritual. He can pray. He got a little gangster, handsome, tall. We know he trying to talk to both of us at the
He was
same time.
crazy too.
Crazy. That's why you got to watch out for the crazy ones too. And
Yes.
thankfully, Nevaina and I were so close that we talked. Because if we hadn't talked, he would have pitted us up against each other. You remember that?
Yes,
The
I do.
craziness. He said, so
He who
y'all,
shall not be named or
he,
lettered.
right, or lettered. So you got to watch out for them too. But I love that. I love that. And that's interesting. So now as a intimacy coach, if one of your clients came and gave that song, and that song says, he is a reflection of me, what would that tell you about that client?
Mm. There is a selflessness when you are fully invested in a relationship, when you are fully vulnerable. And
Yes.
that's not about losing yourself into that person, but it is about fully realizing yourself with that person.
Ooh, I love that. Not
And
about losing yourself, but fully realizing yourself, lady.
yeah, because
Mhm.
if you're with the right person, you'll find yourself falling more in love
With
with you.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
And
with my
yeah,
friends, when I meet their men, I know how much I like their men by how they glow.
yes.
Yeah. So if I see you with your man, you just giggling, I be like, hey, brother. Yes, yes, yes. Um, so food. Do you have a food that is like your relationship?
Oh my. No, but I would say hot wings.
Hot wings. Is finger looking good?
Yes. Because you can beat the drum and you can lay it flat, baby. You know? And there's nothing like good hot wings and watching a good movie.
Yes.
I just like it's so simple, but it's so fun.
Yes.
It's so easy.
Yes.
And it's a great Friday, Saturday night. So
Yeah.
I would say that's what I would say. But I'm gonna think about this. When
I
you do
know.
this work, oftentimes you don't do this work.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You can have the gift and share it with everybody else, not with
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
So you have also, let me see, you have also worked with, look at that. Hmm. So name some of your shows.
Well, I was on 2 seasons of Kingdom Business.
Okay.
I see 4 seasons on the Miss Pat show.
Okay.
And that was one of my
Oh, wait,
favorites.
this is you as an actor, right?
No, that's me as IC.
To add finishing touches, I decided to bring a fresh basket of my surprise and size signature cookies. I'm going to take them to the Andersons for comfort.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Why? I mean, everybody loves my cookies. And it'll show them I'm wifey material.
Ari, listen to me. You are not to cook until at least 3 months after the wedding. Try 6.
Hell, 12.
Oh. Yeah, sounds about right. Look, I'm no Mother Teresa, the Pope, or, our Lord and Savior Oprah, but I do know that there's somebody out here in this great grand universe that is willing to eat your bricky cookies.
My cookies aren't bricky.
Broke my teeth last Christmas.
What? Are my cookies bricky, Mom?
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
That was so much fun. And it's so interesting, like I was getting on the elevator in character with the wig and all that, right?
Yes.
And one of the other actors was coming to set to do his scene.
Yes.
So then I get all out of costume and he's like, "Are you that same lady that was on it?" He said, "Good grief, man, you look 10 years younger."
Right, because you were a real live
Diane Carroll, baby. I was channeling.
You were.
But I love being able to step into the shoes. As actors, man, we get to live so many different stories and vibrations and moods. And that he who findeth, it was a lot of fun. And I just did another one. I should have sent you that wardrobe because I am a whole what do you call it? Like a griot, oracle.
Yeah.
She's got to be all of 80 or 90 years old. So I had to wear the contacts. I had prosthetic wrinkles.
Wow.
It was so much fun. And I got to speak Lingala.
Wow.
Yes. And it just so happened that the DP is from Africa and Lingala is one of his languages. And I actually had to speak with and listen to his mom because he's gotten Americanized in terms of his accent.
Wow.
So, it was a whole process, but I had a blast. And you find it, a great Christmas movie, December coming back around. It's on Tubi.
Yes.
So you can see
another one
Gina.
I wanted to post, but I couldn't download it. You didn't make it
What's
available.
That?
It was another show on your page. Nevaina's Instagram is I am Nevaina.
Yes.
Let me spell that out because nobody knows how to spell that. At IAMNEVAINA. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So on Instagram, and I tried to take down some of your other, your acting so that I could share.
Yes.
You didn't make it possible to download, so
but I'm working on my tech. Tangi, we've got a tutorial scheduled so I can get myself together.
Yes, but I'm proud of what you did today. Let me ask you, I saw that you have worked with the NFL.
Yes. So the NFL Players Association, actually, which is under the NFL umbrella, but it is the specific organization for retired and retiring players. And so one of the statistics is that 80% of players experience divorce within 3 years of retiring.
Wow.
Right? Now, those statistics, they kind of also go in sync with chronic or debilitating illness as well as bankruptcy, right? But when we're talking about that divorce and just the marriages falling apart, the Players Association wanted to be more proactive in terms of supporting the marriages and the players in
Good.
that transition time. So they have retreats that are called Passport to Wellness. And at these retreats, they not only have financial advisors, they have acupressure, they have physical therapy specialists, and I have been coming as their intimacy coach for the last, I think we're at 10 years now, actually, at least 9.
Wow.
Yeah, and Tangi, it is such fulfilling work because I have these huge, big, brawly men, and they are crying, they are laughing out loud, they are holding their wives like babies and just breathing together. And I have wives, they're crying and they're can I give you a hug?
Oh,
Yes, and they're like, he hasn't looked at me like that since wedding day.
oh.
And it is just, it's so rewarding.
It's really nice that you're a safe space for them.
Yeah.
It's a compliment to not only what you do, but who you are.
Amen.
Yeah. How did you get into all of this, Nevaina?
Well, stumbled. No.
Isn't that a song? I stumbled. Isn't that a song?
I don't know, but that's what it felt like. You know, at first I was an actor, and I still am, as you said. So I've always been acting since I was 4, I think. But nonetheless, my acting background was with the Academy Theater. The Academy Theater is one of the forerunners of behavioral modification theater in the Southeast.
Okay.
So all of our work was geared around, be it teen pregnancy, anger management, conflict resolution, helping young people grades K through 12 to make different choices, and those choices being influenced by this theatrical experience and the workshops that we would do. Right. So that whole modality is called drama therapy. And anytime you're using drama towards a therapeutic end, it falls under that category. So I've been doing that for 20, almost 30 years now.
Okay.
And then I started having classes for adults. And I would use many of those drama therapy techniques to help the actors not only to tap into the emotion of the character, but to liberate themselves and get rid of all of their emotional baggage as an actor so that their instrument would be ready to create, to risk, to do whatever.
Right.
And in my acting class, eventually I got to the place where I was bringing in casting directors, and my actors would do scenes or monologues, and we'd have showcases. Some of the actors have landed actually significant roles from many of the showcases. So it was a blessing. And then when the intimacy coordinator position came on the scene in 2017, one of the producers reached out to one of the casting directors. I need an IC. Do you know anyone? And by God's grace and a good name, he recommended me. And then that producer took me to their next job. That UPM took me to their next job, and so on and so on and so on.
Now,
and in terms of my work with the NFLPA, I do the work with women in terms of helping women to really discover themselves, tap into their own clarity, confidence, and so forth. I was doing a workshop for some of the players' wives because one of the players' wives happened to be a sorority sister of mine. And she said, we having this conference. I want you to come and do your thing. All right, sis, I'm there. I'm going to do my thing. And some of the executives from the NFL Trust happened to be in the workshop. And so they said, do you have anything for couples? And of course, I said, yes, I do. Because, in the class, we did a whole series on creating chemistry for the camera, getting comfortable with your scene partner, how to find intimacy underneath the words. So I just translated all of that into a real life experience for married and committed couples. And oddly, my very first one was in Houston. And so they told me that I would have 100 participants, right? So I'm thinking 50 couples, 100 participants.
Yes.
When I got in the room, it was like one of the ballrooms where they take the divide. If it was folk, I said, this is more than 100 people.
Wow.
So the reality was, it was 100 couples.
Wow.
200 people. Wow. And my first experience was 2 hours long. And Tangi, the whole room was silent the whole 2 hours. You could hear a pin drop. And they were so invested, so engaged. I had this one man, he was 62. He said, I've known this woman my whole life, and I've never felt closer to her than I have in these 2 hours. Young lady, you got something here. You got my wife riding on me like Beyonce in front of all these people. And so it was a smashing success, and they just kept bringing me back, and it just kept being a beautiful experience.
I'm seeing a retreat.
Oh yeah, I'm working on one actually, Tangi. So I have to come back on maybe next month or something, because in November I'm in it's going to either be December or January. Okay. And I want to do it at Chateau Elan here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so we're going to have a whole weekend experience of all of the intimate engaged, so that folk can bring that movie magic into their marriages.
I like it.
Yes. And if I do my job right, we're going to come up with some Chateau Elan babies out of there.
Yeah. Look, I was getting ready to say now, my man is close to me. He's somewhere around, even though I don't know who he is.
Okay.
So if I recognize him before you do your retreat, right?
Uh-huh.
I would like for us to court. Would your retreat be a good place for us to get to know each other? Or is it going to be specifically for couples that already know each other?
It's both. I think that it's not just for the married and the committed couples, but for the couples that are clear in their intention. If your intention is truly to get to know your partner, then the experiences that I create will help you to do that. Okay. So there is space for both discovery and recovery all at the same time.
Discovery and recovery. And look at me, Nevaina. So like, will you have a camera there? And when we get to film a scene and act like we're in the movie, and then take that video home and we can play it over and over again whenever we need some stimulation?
You know what? You just gave me a brand new idea. I'm going to find my favorite love scenes. And they're going to act about, you had me at hello.
Yes. Oh, I love it. So let me ask you this. This is just a question I'm just kind of interested in. Are the majority of the television shows that you work with, are they Black? Have you worked with any Caucasian actors? Is it the same? Is it different? How so?
Well, to date, it has been Black productions.
I love it. Not that I'm
yeah.
mad at the rest of y'all, but
Right. I'm not either, but I'm mainstream ready now. So we
yeah.
we not what did Owen Wilson say? Are you prejudiced? No, we are
Right.
not.
No,
We are
no.
equal opportunity ICs.
Yes.
But I will say that the experience on African American sets has been different from my experience as an actor on mainstream set.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even our whole love language, our body, our rhythm, it is unique.
Yeah.
And sometimes it requires a different kind of sensitivity and conversation in order to make the actors feel comfortable and to make the scene realistic.
Now
Right.
are you saying because of the way we grind or
Yeah.
grab?
Yeah. I
We
mean,
can't
it's
do
just,
that?
it's all of that. Like even our shape, the instance that I told you, you can
Yeah.
have a different ethnic group of woman in a thong. It doesn't have the same effect if you
Right.
have I don't want to say typical built, but if you have a curvaceous or indigenous or natural, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
it's just different, right?
Yes.
And so the way that you can move, the way that the camera can be positioned, it creates a different narrative, right? And then there's also just our own cultural space as it pertains to body freedom, as it pertains to past trauma or situations, and just having some sensitivity to that. Because unfortunately, some of my work as a drama therapy specialist has also been in the sex abuse survivor space. And one of the prominent statistics is that 9 out of 10 African American women will experience some form of unwanted sexual attention before the age of 18. Now, that statistic includes verbal unwanted attention, like, her baby hips coming in, look at her. She, that, to actual rape and forced intercourse. So that's a wide range, but it still speaks to the environments where women of color are more predominantly likely to find themselves unsafe, vulnerable, or somehow taken advantage of, right? Now, if you move all of that data, statistics, and so forth into the arena of arts and entertainment, which already has some existing barriers, obstacles, and so forth for women of color, then it makes good sense to have intimacy coordinators who have a sensitivity to that, an awareness of that, and don't ignore or discount that. I think that's one of the reasons why director Bellini said there's a soul to the way that I work, because I try to take those things into account. I'm conscious of it because I truly care for people about their wellness, their wholeness, the sacred self and the seen self. It's all present, especially in this work that we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the chat, they're agreeing. Impu said how we move in intimate space is different rhythm, patterns, frequency. And he said, right on point. And Sonia Marie is like, wow. It's interesting what you're saying, too, because while a lot of us have experienced that, oftentimes we don't even, it registers in our body as abuse, but we don't know that it's abuse.
Right.
So just moving on. And
you never know when it's going to come up.
Come out. Yep.
In this work, man, you could be thinking, like, one of my techniques is to have the actors to just look into each other's eyes. That's a very basic actors exercise. It's called being present. But when you move that into an intimate scene, it really pulls you into a place of vulnerability. And so I had one actress, she was like, I don't want to do this. But she could just grab his face and tongue him all down, and she was just fine with that. But being seen and really being still and connected with someone was so highly discomforting, right? Yeah. And that could come from both suppressed trauma. It can come from a lot of different shadow places that you're just not aware of. Yeah. And you're going through the motions both of life and in your art. Some people, they use acting as an escape from life. Others use it to dive deeper into the living experience. Mm-hmm. So depending on what street I meet the actor, I'll know how I need to handle, support, and invoke them into the space.
I love it. Royale said, have you considered proposing to other sports leagues with your expertise?
I have considered. And so we'll put that out. Once you say a thing in the universe, it becomes so. I would love to particularly work with the NBA. And I say that just because that's another one of those professional leagues that has some very sort of concerning statistics around both marriages, fidelity, all of those things.
Yes.
And it's just it's proven in the corporate space, I think, more than other spaces, about healthy relationships enhancing productivity, especially in high level performers or high engaged positions. Whenever the home life or that core relationship is healthy, yes, they produce better, right? Yes. So I am definitely open. I have been making an effort, and even with the NFL, each team operates as its own club, even though it's all under the umbrella of the NFL. So if I were to proposition or do a proposal, I have to go to all 52 teams directly, because each one operates as a silo. But I'm not beyond that. So yeah.
So we send you good vibrations with that.
Yes. And if anyone's listening,
and if anyone's listening, call her up. You can send her a message on Instagram and I am
into my DMs.
Yes. Nevaina, what advice would you give to a couple that is they love each other, but they just don't want to make love no more because they both tired of each other? They just don't want to. What advice? Oh, wait, she said maybe you need help with that. Oh, now you talking about help. If you're talking about helping Nevaina, reach out to Nevaina. If you're talking about helping me, reach out to Tangi. It could be anything I said because it's delayed. But if you can help her, reach out, because you never know.
Right. You never know. What they say, if you call it, the universe will respond. So we are calling it out.
Yes.
But in terms of lack of intimacy, that's a common place. There was this great movie, I think it was called As Good as It Gets.
Yes, As Good as It Gets.
And that was the movie where the couple had settled in. There was no romance. They were just going through the motions. And the wife was like, I want more. I'm still vibrant, sensual, and ready. Yes. I don't want to resign my life to just roommates. I want a lover. I want a passionate marriage. So there are many ways that you can rediscover connection and attraction to each other. So I would really have to figure out for that couple, is it something physical? Because a lot of males, they go through erectile dysfunction after a certain age.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of teas and vitamins and all of that, so we can get all that together.
Yeah.
Is it some
Hope
breach?
isn't lost, y'all. Go
Right.
ahead.
Is there some breach in the relationship? So let's deal with that. And there's also the spiritual component. You know, I am a woman of spirit, and Tangie, you know that so well.
Yes.
But there is a lot of ministry that happens when a man and a woman come together as one in that way. And so there are sacred practices that I do with some of my couples that bring that God and divine focus back into their relationship. And that creates supernatural transformation. And, you know, and then when you start making love to the whole body, you'll be surprised how the other traditional parts respond, and they just fall right in line, you know.
Yes.
So we're doing foot washing. We are kissing on erotic zones like the inside of the elbow, the area between the pelvic bone and the navel. We're even going under the arm. Some people like under the arm. Yes, there are so many nerve endings there, and it's such a neglected, unthought about place that the fact that somebody is under there just absolutely takes you off guard. And so now it's like, ooh, okay.
Yes.
You know? So
Okay.
it's a lot that can be done to rekindle and to even learn how to make love without intercourse, and you both be very satisfied. Because, you know, lesbian relationships, they know how to make love to each other without an erection. So it's a lot of stuff that you can work around when you want to work around, you know?
Yeah. Look, that's a whole other conversation, because I wasn't sure what they do, you know. I mean, so, but yes, it's a lot. The courting is so necessary. So, if my man is watching, courting.
I want to be courted.
I want to be courted.
You know, but courting is a lost art now.
Not in
on
the case
so many levels. I mean, people don't even. I was so taken aback when I had a grown man say, you know, I'd love to take you out to dinner. Are you available next Friday? I just realized, man, I haven't heard that. You know, people aren't using that pickup line anymore.
But if you put "wouldn't it be nice if" on your storyline.
Okay, that's what happened.
Because I did get some of those nice things. If I took you out to dinner, if we went for a walk in the park and you touched some trees and I made you laugh, and I was like, oh, let me see what he look like.
Right. I love a good walk around the river and a good movie date. Dinner and a movie, man, it's it's lovely. And then of course, you know, now we're doing private jets and you can rent a helicopter. So it's a whole lot that you can do in that courting space.
And on my first date with him, wherever we go, I'm talking about him a lot though nowadays, but wherever we go, one thing I want to do, y'all, is I want to blush.
With those big old eyes. Look at
you. And look, I want him to be tall so I can be like. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's 7:00, y'all. Nevaina. So you'll have to come back when you're ready to talk about your trip. Sonia Marie, I can't wait to see you soon because she's got some trips coming up in the show. There's so many wonderful things happening, and you find out about all of them right here on Heaven High Podcast. Tune in next week, y'all. Wednesday at 6:00. I got a surprise. I just be putting all my stuff out there. Okay. You know what we getting ready to do? We getting ready to play this clip again, my opening, just because I like it. Hold up, Nevaina. Hold up. Here we go.
I know today, no matter what is happening, things will all go my way. I see heaven and I don't have to wait for you to recognize that love resides in this place. Why not listen ahead? Why you making that face? You be tripping, thinking about something different. Why you making just relax a bit, ain't no accidents, it's just all for the love.
Heaven high, everybody. Welcome. Yes, I have to play that clip because I always want y'all to remember that whatever it is, it's all about love. Giving love, receiving love. It's about love. So go on out there and have a fabulous week. Fabulous. And there's so much going on in the world right now. I know it's easy to get a little bit heavy. It really is. So try to keep a little pencil and pad with you and jot down some of the good things that happen to you and for you throughout the day. It can be teeny tiny things or big things. Drop them down so that you can stay in alignment, because even with all this craziness going on, there's still good stuff happening in the world. I love y'all. See you next week at 6 o'clock. Thank you, Nevaina. Y'all like, subscribe, and share. Bye.